Okay, guys, I told you that I would work a couple of problems out from your homework, the multiple choice practice test sheet. So I'm going to work out number one to show you a full out mass. And then I'm going to work number two and number three. So I'm going to work through the first three. And then I'm going to post the answers online so that you can check your answers via Blackboard tomorrow. Okay? So number one gives us this formula. This formula equation. Okay? And like I said yesterday in class, I want to kind of take the information that I get in my problem and I want to put that within my chemical equation. So basically what I do is I write what I'm given and what I'm asked to find, and then I find the gram formula masses and I put all of that information along with my equation so that when I get ready to plug my numbers in, I have all of my information there. For example, in number one, it reads, how many grams of lead sulfate? If I look down through here, obviously PB is lead. If you don't know what lead is, you get your periodic table out, you look it up. This is lead. Obviously, this is sulfate. If you don't memorize or have sulfate memorized, you look on the back of your periodic table, look in the list at the bottom that shows you polyions. Sulfate's name will be there. So this is how you pick out something that's unknown to you. This is lead sulfate. So that's what it's asking me to find in grams, right? So I'm going to put a little question mark G above it. And then I'm going to finish reading the problem. Will be needed to react with sodium chromate to produce 0.3 kilograms of lead 2 chromate. So the given amount here, right, if I'm just reading through the problem, I'm looking for a number, a unit, and a compound all together. So 0.3 kilograms of lead 2 chromate. This is lead. This is the polyatomic ion chromate. So it gives me 0.3 kilograms. That's my given amount. So first and foremost, I've taught you that these problems are mass, and they're typically grams to grams. So the first thing that you have to do is take your given amount, 0.3 kilograms, and change them into grams. And you do that this way. All of the conversions on your end of course problem, end of course test will be 3-step conversions. Grams to kilograms, grams to milligrams, milliliters to liters, liters to milliliters. So this is a 3-stepper. Here's kilograms, hectograms, decograms, base unit where grams is. So if I'm going from kilo to G, kilo to grams, that's 1, 2, 3 steps to the right. So I'm going to move my decimal 1, 2, 3, and that'll give me 300 grams. So 300 grams is my true mass that I'm starting with. You want that number in grams, okay? So now I have to find the gram formula mass of this and this because these are the two things that are going to be in my problem. I'm given a gram amount. I'm asked to go to grams. So I'm going to find the gram formula mass of both of these. So that's where I list this. When I add all that up, I'm going to get 303 grams, right? I have to find the gram formula mass of this as well. 1 pp, 1 cr, 4 O's. When I add all that up, I get 323 grams. Okay, so now I've found all of the information I'm going to need. My given amount, my 2 gram formula masses, and this is what I'm looking for, right? The next thing you need to do or make sure that you do before you start plugging in numbers is make sure that your equation is balanced. So look from left to right. 1 PB, 1 PB, 1 SO4, 1 SO4, 2 NAs, 2 NAs, 1 chromate, 1 chromate. So it is balanced. All of my coefficients here are going to be 1s, right? So then I start by plugging in. This is what I'm given. And then I draw my set formula that you guys are going to learn really well. And then I'll follow those 2 rules that I gave you yesterday. Whatever you're given in your problem, no matter what it is, whatever your given substance is, goes on the bottom here and here. Whatever you are going to, what it asks you to find, goes on the top here and here. And now I go through and plug in my numbers. The gram amount for PbCrO4 is what I calculated, the gram formula mass. So I'm going to plug this number, gram formula mass for this, in right here, 323. Both of my mole amounts, remember this is your mole ratio step. This comes from coefficients. So my coefficients for every single part, both of those parts in my formula are 1. That makes that an easy step, 1 over 1, just multiplying by 1. And then this is the mass for PbSO4, what I'm asked to go to. And this is what I calculated from the periodic table. So 303. Now this is simple math, so I would multiply across, and divide. And my final answer, you can practice the math, you need to practice the math, is 281 grams of PbSO4. I want to check to make sure it's one of my choices. It is. It's letter B. Notice that. Look at B and look at E on your sheet. B and E are both 281.5. But you want to make sure that you pick the right substance. It asks you to find how many grams of lead sulfate, and that would be letter B. 281.5 grams of lead sulfate. So make sure you're choosing the correct answer. Be very careful about that. Okay? So that's number 1.